everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back into the video, and I'm here to talk about this Cardi B situation. Everybody has been up in arms about this whole situation, and so I kind of wanted to come on camera and talk about my thoughts on it in a more detailed way. And I feel like a lot of y'all have misinterpreted the point of a YouTube short. I feel like a lot of y'all don't understand what YouTube shorts are. So for those of y'all who may not be aware, YouTube shorts, right? Because sometimes I will make YouTube shorts on trending topics, right? I feel like a lot of y'all have forgotten or maybe weren't aware that YouTube shorts are under a minute long, right? So YouTube shorts can be up to a minute long before they qualify as a full-blown video. And so there's obviously only but so much I can say in a couple of seconds. And I feel like a lot of people aren't understanding that, because I'll see people saying like, oh, you left out this detail, or you didn't show this clip. I can't show full-on clips a lot of the times, or I can't go into every little bitty detail of a particular story in a YouTube short. I literally have to say the main key points in under a minute, so it's impossible to cover everything. And so I'm gonna make this video where I address some of the things that I didn't cover in that YouTube short. And so for those of you who don't know, what's going on, basically Cardi B was performing. A fan in the crowd threw a cup of water at her, and in response to this fan throwing a cup of water at her, Cardi B threw her microphone back at her. And so this has now sparked a whole debate about how Cardi reacted, if her response was warranted. And what's so interesting to me, right? Well, first things first, because I saw people saying that, oh, she wasn't performing, she was lip singing. Okay. Even if she was, I don't see how her lip syncing is relevant to the story. I don't know. I feel like people just find reasons to, throw shade that's unnecessary, has nothing to do with the actual story. Okay, lip syncing, cool. I'm still gonna say performing, because she was performing for the sake of the video. And so, yeah, Cardi B was performing at this event, and, the lady threw the cup of water at her, and she threw the microphone, right? And we've seen this time and time again, fans throwing stuff at celebrities. Yes, it's been happening since the beginning of time, but I feel like as of recently, we've seen more and more videos surface of fans throwing objects, liquids, all sorts of things at celebrities. I forgot which artist it was, but someone had threw like their mother's ashes onto a celebrity before. I've seen people throw clothes, cell phones, all sorts of things at these celebrities. And I feel like for the most part, people have been on the same page in terms of saying, hey, this is not okay. Why are y'all paying money to throw things at people? These people shouldn't be throwing things at these celebrities, and these celebrities aren't in the wrong at all. This Cardi B situation is the only time I've ever seen people split on this, and I feel like it's a variety of different factors. I feel like one being that it's Cardi B. Unfortunately, people just are looking for reasons to hate on Cardi B and to say that she deserved it, or to say, X, Y, and Z. Like, you just have people, a subset of people that just despise Cardi B so much that they are just going to unfortunately agree with bad things happening to her. But then you have other people who feel like she did not respond in the correct way, which I feel like is a more valid reason to disagree with this, because again, like, she did throw a very heavy object at somebody when only water was thrown at her. And so I could kind of see that side to it as well. And then also you have like other details that have now surfaced about the story, which I also think too, people have to remember that, as time goes on, we're getting more and more information. And so, a lot of the things that you might have found out maybe like a day after the story broke, a lot of people weren't aware of. And also more and more videos started to surface as well. And so again, I'm going to go into some of those few extra details that, again, I cannot fit into a YouTube short. And if you would like to make your own YouTube shorts, if I, left out a detail or whatever, I got something wrong, feel free to make your own YouTube channel and put in all the details that you would like, okay? But I am going to go into some of the extra details that I wasn't quite able to fit into the YouTube short. So one of those things being that at one point during the performance, Cardi B apparently asked people to throw water on her. it was said that she asked people to throw water like towards her private area during the performance. It's also recently been revealed that the woman who threw the cup of water at her, she did it kind of like later on in the show. Like she didn't do it during the whole bit, I guess. So when I guess Cardi asked people to throw water at her, people were already done and past that part by the time that the lady had threw the water at her. So apparently that's not what was happening at that time, even though that's what was happening earlier in the show. That's what I've been told. That's what I've been seeing. So that's what we're gonna go with. Also, another detail is that Cardi, when she threw the microphone, which I believe I mentioned this in my YouTube short, but when she threw the microphone, it actually did hit the girl. There is a video, and I'm gonna show all this, by the way, in this video. But she did hit that girl, and then the microphone bounced off of the girl and then hit somebody else. So the microphone did end up hitting a bystander that had nothing to do with the situation at all. And so with all of the facts in play here, was Cardi B wrong for throwing that microphone at the fan? Now, like I said, most people, I feel like up until this point have, been against people throwing things at celebrities. And one thing that I've noticed is a lot of the celebrities and a lot of the performers that we've seen have things thrown at them, a lot of the time we see them kind of just walk away. They might say something and address it on the microphone, but for the most part, they usually just walk away and they let security handle it, right? I think this is one of the first instances where we see somebody actively responding and attacking back. And it's crazy because I will usually see people say like, oh, don't get upset if, one day one of these performers comes back in and does something to you. Don't get upset if, one day they throw something back or they attack the person back. And it's funny how when that happens, like in this situation, people immediately, and again, even before all the extra information about Cardi B asking for the water to be thrown on her, without knowing all the extra details, just seeing that, water was thrown and Cardi B threw the mic. When that was all the information that we knew, there were still people that were saying that Cardi B was wrong for how she reacted, and she should have just walked away, and she should have just let security handle it. And I'm like, why are people flipping all of a sudden? We've been saying this whole time that these fans deserve what they get if they are putting these celebrities in harm's way. And now then when you have somebody that finally responds and retaliates, people are like, oh no, she's in the wrong, she shouldn't have did anything. And it's just like, y'all don't know how to keep the same energy. Y'all don't know how to keep the same energy. And I really do feel like because it's Cardi B, people are looking for reasons to say that she was in the wrong for what she did. Now, I believe that you shouldn't throw anything at anybody, period. I don't even care if they told you to do it. If I was at a concert and the person that was on stage told me to throw, I don't know, an earring or something, I'm still not doing it. I just can't bring myself to do something like that. I can't bring myself to throw something at someone that's performing. I just think across the board, you just should not do that. Now, again, it's being said that Cardi B asked them to throw water on her, but apparently it was like for a certain segment of the show. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I've seen the clips, I've seen people talk about it online, but what I'm gathering from it is that there was a point in the show or in her lyrics where she told them to do that. And like way after the fact, way after they had got done with that little segment, the girl threw the water at her, and that might be why it caught her so off guard. However, I do agree that if that was said at some point in the show, I feel like for the remainder of the show, if someone were to throw water at you, I would assume it's because you said it earlier on in the show. So I'm not entirely sure why Cardi reacted the way that she did. If at some point she did ask people to throw water on her, and if other people had thrown water on her prior to that, I don't know why she got upset with this specific individual. But that's why I kind of wanted to look at it from like a more like broad stance, because it's like I feel like yes, if it's true that Cardi B asked the folks to throw water on her, then okay, sure. But again, I feel like even if that didn't happen, I feel like even if Cardi B didn't say that, I feel like there would still be people that would justify it, and there would still be people that would say like, oh, Cardi shouldn't have reacted the way that she reacted. Now here's what I have to say in regards to that. So let's pretend as if Cardi didn't tell them to throw water on her, right? Let's just say the fan just threw the water, right? I see both sides to it. I feel like if you do something to harm somebody, or you do something that you're not supposed to do to somebody, or you provoke somebody in any type of way, I feel like you cannot tell that person how to respond. I have had that line of thinking. That has been like one of my number one like rules in life, is that if you intentionally try to piss somebody off or make somebody upset or do something to somebody, you cannot tell them how to react. You can't. I'm a firm believer in that. Especially if it's intentional, you cannot tell that person how upset or how angry to get. You can't. It's the same way when someone, insults somebody else, and then the person that was insulted says something 10 times worse. You can't get mad at the person that responded. They're defending themselves. They're responding to what you did and what you initiated first. And so for people to say like, oh, a microphone is way worse than a cup of water, well, then the lady should have never thrown the water, or whatever the situation might be. Like, if you throw something at somebody, even if it's a light object, whatever that person has in their vicinity, that's what you're about to get. I just felt like you can't do something to somebody but then tell them like, but you can't react in that way though. Like, no, that was, and I've said this, like, that was Cardi's natural reaction to what happened. Somebody threw something at her, and so she just took what she had and threw it back. Now, yes, throwing a microphone is very dangerous, and it can hurt somebody, and it can knock somebody out. I 100% agree. And yes, I agree that Cardi could have handled it better. I'm not saying that this was the only solution. I'm not saying this was the best solution. Yes, the more graceful thing for her to do was to have walked away and let security handle it. The same way all these other performers do. A lot of them, they just walk away, heal their wounds behind stage, and they allow their security to handle it. But I'm also not mad if Cardi B or even other celebrities want to start fighting back, because it really is getting out of hand. Like, we've seen it a lot these past couple of months, where performers are literally getting attacked on stage by their fans. And what's being done about it? Clearly these security people aren't doing enough, or they can't get to the person in time, or whatever the case may be. And so, yeah, I don't blame anybody for wanting to fight back. And I also think it's unfortunate too that, the microphone also hit somebody that had nothing to do with it. Now, yes, obviously that is unfortunate, because she literally was just happened to be there in the area, when this happened, and, she got hit with something. And I think that person is now suing Cardi. It's either the person that she intended to hit, or the person that got hit on accident is now suing Cardi B for hitting her with the microphone. And that's the other aspect of it as well. I mean, yes, like, you, like, on either sides, right? Like, you can get in trouble for assaulting somebody, right? And so yes, that is something that Cardi B should have thought of prior to throwing the microphone. But I also understand, like, again, like, that was probably just a natural human emotion to be like, oh, someone threw something at me, so I'm gonna throw something back. She probably didn't think of the consequences and what could have happened from her responding in that way. And again, I'm not saying that that was the only way to handle it, or that was the best way to handle it. I just understand, like, the emotion behind it. I understand why somebody would react that way. Her feelings behind it are valid. I don't necessarily agree with the way that she handled it, but again, it's like, things like this keep happening. Again, typically the celebrities, they just walk away, they don't say anything, and they just, but I think a lot of these celebrities are going to start fighting back. I don't think Cardi B is going to be the last celebrity that responds in this way, because a lot of these celebrities, they're getting tired of it. They're getting tired of being harassed by these fans. Now, I also saw too that the woman who threw the cup of water, she looked very distraught. She was apologizing a lot to her. She didn't really respond in like a way of, like she meant to hurt Cardi. She did actually look remorseful. She looked like she didn't mean to throw the water on her, which I also think speaks to her realizing that she was in the wrong. I think that if the lady threw the water on Cardi expecting it to be something that, Cardi wanted, I think that she would have actually looked more distraught and confused, or maybe even still in the moment thinking that that's what Cardi wanted. The fact that she immediately was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that, like, my bad. I think even she acknowledges like, okay, I probably shouldn't have done that. And so, I don't know, man, I'm not entirely sure, but I think based off of her being so remorseful about it, I don't think that she had intent on, harming Cardi B. And I don't know if, I'll have to watch the video clip again. I don't know if her if her apologizing came after or before the mic hit her. I don't know how quickly all of that happened, because I would like to think that if Cardi B saw her apologizing the way that she was, that she would, you know, kind of take a step back and be like, okay, maybe she didn't mean it that way. But I don't know, Cardi looked pretty pissed off in that clip. And I don't know, I again, I think based off of that, the lady probably didn't mean any harm in that regard, right? In that regard, if the lady didn't mean to assault her or harm her, you know, with the water, I think that, you know, I don't know, like, did she deserve to get hit in the head with the microphone? Not necessarily, but again, you have to be careful, because also too, even though Cardi said yes, throw the water, whatever, people were also making the point of like, you also don't know what's in those cups. Maybe Cardi meant like, hey, throw the water, but don't throw the water on me. Don't throw the water on me. Y'all can throw the water in the crowd, but don't throw the water on me. I don't know. Because also people were bringing up the fact too that like, she also doesn't know what's in your cup. You know what I'm saying? It could be water. It could be pee. We don't know what's even in your cup. And so it's like you're throwing the substance on somebody. And, you know, her initial reaction was just like, you know, what the heck? And so I don't know. There's all different kinds of theories that you could pull out of the situation. But ultimately, I think that don't throw anything at anybody while they're performing. Whether it's, again, a drink, piece of food, an object, you should not be throwing anything. Just be there and enjoy the show. I really don't understand why people come to concerts and do that. Again, just speaking in general, I don't know why there has been this surge of people who are paying all this money to get tickets to see these people that you would think that they would be fans of, to just harm them, you know, and to ruin the show for everybody else. I really don't understand why people do that. It's very odd. It's very weird. Just stay at home. But ultimately, I think this lady learned her lesson, and I think other people who go to concerts have now learned their lesson, that you just don't throw anything. Like, just to be safe, just don't throw anything at all. Even if the person said, hey, throw your underwear up here, don't do it. Don't throw anything. Just come there, enjoy the show, and just let it be that. But hopefully there aren't charges being pressed on either side. Like I said, the microphone was a bit much, but I also understand why. I understand, you know, reacting in a certain way without thinking about it. I understand if Cardi asked them to throw water at them at a certain point in time in the show, why they would think, okay, this clearly is allowed throughout the show. I can understand that. But yeah, I think it's just best to just not even do it. And of course, on the performer side, yes, the best course of action is to walk away and let your security handle it. But also, these performers are human beings. I know a lot of the times people often view celebrities as not human. We see that a lot, but I think you have to remember that these are people. The things that you do and the things that you say does affect, you know, these individuals. And so, yeah, I think that's all I have to say in regards to this topic. I'm sure y'all have a lot to say in regards to this. So if you have any thoughts, comments, opinions on this whole Cardi B situation, please feel free to leave those thoughts in the comments down below, and be respectful and be kind when leaving your comments. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys go ahead and get a big thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.